Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a paid request for Devonte. Thank you so much for that. I do apologize for the lateness of the video, but thank you for your patience. I really do appreciate it. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie review, a re-review, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, full playthrough, tier list rankings, whatever the case, PayPal's the best way to do it. Do have a Cash App as well. Links are down in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. So for those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. So this is for Shark Night, also known as Shark Night 3D, that came out in 2011. Now, I did see this back in the day when I worked at the video store, and to be honest, how I first saw it, my thoughts, same as it is today. A very forgettable, typical shark movie that doesn't really do anything remarkable, interesting enough to really make it stand out. I mean, the effects are not as bad as a Sci-Fi Channel film. You know, this did go into theaters. It didn't do well. It cost $25 million and only made like $18 million, at least in the US, $18 million. It made a little bit overseas, but then, you know, marketing, what the movie theaters get share-wise, it didn't really do much. And I can see why. Like I said, it's directed by David Ellis, and it's sad because I liked him. He sadly has passed away. He did Final Destination 2, which is my favorite of that franchise. He did Cellular, which I thought was an underrated action thriller with Chris Evans, Jason Statham as your villain, Kim Basinger, William H. Macy. Really liked Cellular. He did States on a Plane, which I saw in the theater. I have fun with it. Far from perfect, but I have some dumb fun with States on a Plane, despite the CGI being pretty garbage at times. But this enough of it, I had fun for other reasons. This one, though, first off, it's PG-13. Now, I get it. Jaws, that was PG. Granted, the 70s PG was very different than it is today. But Jaws, with the way it's directed, and the music, and the characters, it didn't need to be R-rated. It had enough of a talent pool, and just, it was so well crafted that it stands above and beyond against other shark films. And that if you try to go up that, you're going more than likely to fail. So if you can't beat it on that level, then you have to be like more fun or more exhilarating, or, and I think that's what Deep Blue Sea did by Rennie Harlan. It's not as intense as Jaws, but it's R-rated, and there's people getting their arms bitten off, and you know, there's some bad CG, but there's some really good practical, and yet a good cast. I like Thomas Jane, I like LL Cool J, I like even Michael Rappaport I liked in it. You have some really good action set pieces, which Rennie Harlan is known for. This kind of has neither. You don't have the gusto and the gore and the B-movie level trashiness that you get with an R-rated film. So it just feels tame and it feels sanitized. And on the flip side, it's not nearly going to be as well crafted as Jaws. I wasn't thinking it was going to be. Well, I mean, to me, not even on the level of Deep Blue Sea or other stuff. Hell, I would say The Shallows did that much better. It has its issues, but Bait, which I think was an Australian film or some, pretty much the one where the shark is in the store, because there's a big flood and stuff, so it's people in this like supermarket, and there's a shark in there or two, and they have to figure out what to do and how to get out. So instead, what you get with this is very uninteresting characters that are one-dimensional, superfluous. Can't even say the fucking word right. That's how much my tongue doesn't even want to fucking spit it out. Maybe I need more saliva. Because, I mean, long story short, you have about 7 college kids. They go to one of their friends' place, which is by this lake. Said friend is played by Sara Paxton. Among the 7, you have Sarah, you have our lead, who's the nerdy guy, although he's got like a 6-pack, and not 6-pack of soda, but like stomach 6-pack, played by Dustin Milligan, and he's got the crush on Sara Paxton's character. You have Joel David Moore as another nerdy guy. He was in a few films around this time. He's in the Avatar films. He was the lead in the first Hatchet movie. And then I think it was Hatchet 3 he made a cameo in. But yeah, Joel David Moore, if you've seen the film Hatchet, he was the lead in that. Other people, there's this one guy named Malik, who's the black guy in the group. He's the tough guy. And honestly, he was kind of the guy I wanted to root for, just because he had that demeanor and he had that don't fuck with me quality to it, but he wasn't a dick. And he just had that presence, and I'm like, if they developed this character and make him the lead, maybe, something could be had here, but no. Nope, that's not the case. So after this opening where you see a girl get grabbed and killed by a shark, and I'm sitting there going, dude, folks, you're never going to beat Jaws, so don't try to do an opening where a girl gets killed by... I mean, come on. Jaws did that. You can't compete with it. Don't do that. And then we cut to these kids. So they're going up to the lake, they stop at this bait shop, and they meet some of the local rednecks. One is a guy who started up, who knew Sara Paxton back in the day. And the other is Joshua Leonard. Yes. Josh from the Blair Witch Project. He's in this. Does a decent job playing a scummy redneck. Definitely buy into it. But I mean, the characters, there's really nothing to talk about. I can't even tell you a description of the other characters. There's the one girl who's friends with Sara Paxton. There's another guy. I could just be vague. So it's what, Sara Paxton, the nerdy lead, Joel David Moore, Malik. There's the girl who the lead knows. There's another guy. Was there so? I can't remember who the fuck the other person was. Or was there another person? Maybe not. I can't remember now. Shit. Maybe I thought it counted 7. I don't know. Maybe it was John Cena. I couldn't see him. I don't fucking know. So they're off at this place by the lake, and like I said, the conversations aren't really interesting. The character work are very simple and, like I said, one-dimensional. You would not give a rat's ass about any of these characters, one way or the other. I don't see why you would. Donald Logue, which I've seen him in, I think it was the TV show Gotham. He played Bullock, the partner to not yet Commissioner Gordon on the TV show Gotham. He's been in a lot of other stuff, Donald Logue. He plays the sheriff here. But the kids are relaxing. They go water skiing. Malik falls, and he gets his arm bit. Oh, that's who it is. It was another girl. Yes, right. The girlfriend of Malik. That's who I was forgetting. Because he gets his arm bit, and they try to stop the bleeding. They figure out they gotta get the hell out of there. The lead guy, the girl who, Sara Paxton, Malik and the girlfriend of Malik, they get on the boat, they go up, and something's chasing them. It's a shark. Also, the boat, they realize someone has fucked up with the controls. So they can't control it. Malik's girlfriend gets pushed off. She gets eaten. You don't see a whole lot because it's PG-13. And they can't control the boat, and it goes up, and there's a bit of an explosion that happens. They get back on shore. They have to figure out what the hell to do next. So, since it's the 6 of them, eventually Joel David Moore and the other girl, they go off with Joshua Leonard and the other guy. They get help, but then you realize they're bad guys. And eventually those two, Joel David Moore and the girl, they get killed. Malik, he's pissed that his girlfriend died. He finds out about it. He goes off into the water, stupidly, but, hey, he lost his arm and he lost his girlfriend, so he's not going to be thinking straight. Gets a spear, fights and kills the shark. Now, there's more than one shark, but he does kill the shark. So, just by association, this guy killed a shark with one arm and a spear. Pretty fucking badass. Why can't he be the lead? Why can't he be the lead, man? That's what it should have been. Take it to the B-movie level. Where a guy, he got one arm, but he's the one-arm executioner. But he's, the one-arm shark exterminator. And then he's throwing a spear, and it goes into, I don't know, Joshua Leonard's neck. Call me boy? Fuck you. Here's your boy. Right through your fucking neck. You don't call me boy too? I'm gonna jam the spear up your ass. This is a spear? You call me what now? Like, get it up to that level, man. But instead, the stuff comes off as a tease. There's multiple times early on that women will take off their shirt, but they're away from the camera. So it just becomes a giant tease. Not too many times you have a movie cop block you. And then there's another bit where the other guy, that's ultra calm, because there's no other way to describe him, is on like a jet ski, he's going to take Malik. Malik feels like he is slowing him down, so he drops to the water, gets eaten. But it didn't fucking matter, because literally a minute later, the guy is driving, and a shark leaps out of the fucking water. Just, how they always, do a free willy on you. Hits the guy off the water, the jet ski, into the water, and then that guy's eaten. I don't know how many sharks jump like that. And the 3D, I mean, I didn't see this in 3D, obviously. But I don't know, there's really a whole lot of moments where the 3D would really show. I guess maybe when that shark jumps, because then it does go towards the screen. Maybe the ending where there's an explosion of a shark. Maybe. But they said there's not a whole lot 3D stuff in here. So this is when 3D was everywhere. This is where every other movie tried to be 3D. So some more successful than others, but you had Avatar in 3D, My Bloody Valentine in 3D. Every movie had to have their 3D version. Dread 3D, which was great. Love seeing in 3D. Thankfully, that's calmed down. I'm sure once in a while you'll see a film and have like a 3D version, but it's not as prominent in marketing and trying to sell your film than it was years ago. Partly because they realized, number one, it's expensive to try to shoot films in 3D, and they didn't really care anymore. The gimmick was a short-term thing, and then people were not utilizing it the right way, or they were doing it in a lazy way, or they show in a different screen, but the ticket prices were more expensive and people didn't want to pay that. In 3D is tough to see at home because you'll notice like what they're trying to do, but a lot of times, unless you have the most expert, layout of your TV, you can't really capture what you would in a theater, so just makes it look more awkward. The lead characters I thought were really boring. It's not that they did a bad job acting, it's just they were so in one ear, out the other with the characters, with the way they're written, the person. It just, very, very forgettable. And I reviewed this film recently called Hard Eyes. I know some people didn't like the film, to each their own, but what I liked about that film is I thought those two actors really had a spark, and the back and forth and the reactions they had to certain horror events. That to me is what made that film work. Hard Eyes. There's really nothing to it to even talk about. So when that is kind of just there, the kills, they don't have the scare intensity suspense of Jaws, they don't have the B-movie thrills of some of these other shark films. So what are you even getting out of it? This seems like a movie that should be like trashy B-movie fun. I mean, I have issues with Piranha 3D, I do. But if I had to pick, I'd put that above this. Just, I will say one thing that film can do is give you some gore, mainly that one big sequence in the movie. There's more I could say for this. So now that the numbers of the characters are dwindling down, Joel David Moore, Joshua Leonard, and the other guy told him to get in the water, and then the guy tries to climb up this thing, but the shark grabs him, brings him down. Eventually the girl, she gets killed as well. I said Malik gives himself up, which I thought was lame. And it didn't even matter because a minute later, like I said, the other guy, the shark jumps up and, surprise, motherfucker, gets him into the water. Really all that's left is our two leads. And they get to the sheriff is there. You just see this coming a mile away, so you can't say, I wouldn't say it's a surprise. The lead guy gets drugged, and the sheriff is in with the other bad guys. And their plan is kind of like Vacancy, only instead of a motel, it's on a lake, where they want to film shark snuff films, where they put like cameras on the sharks, and they talk about how, you know how many people watch Shark Week every year? I'm like, Shark Week ain't the fucking same as this, dude. People don't watch Shark Week because they're hoping someone gets fucking eaten. And then he also brings up Faces of Death, and I'm sitting there going, you do know Faces of Death was fake, right? That most of that shit in the movie is fake? I mean, if you really want to make Faces of Death, then you make a movie and then sell it off as real. Then you're making Faces of Death. Because the real stuff, Traces of Death, I know there were people that watched them and maybe they did make money, but I don't know if they made enough to justify all the shit you're doing here to make you rich or whatever the fuck. So I guess they felt they found a market where people would buy snuff shark videotapes or footage or digital, how the fuck do you want to do it? Streaming service? I don't know. So that was always a bit weird to me, the idea, the reason behind it. And eventually the lead guy, he's tied up. He finds a way to burn up Donald Lowe, put him in this contraption that he was put into. So Donald Lowe is trapped, and then he gets eaten by the shark. Then the lead gets to the girl. They're both on this boat. So is Joshua Leonard, and so is the other guy. And the other guy has a personal history with Sara Paxton. She's fighting him off, while the lead guy has Joshua Leonard as a hostage. The other guy throws a knife right into Joshua Leonard's chest. I just to get him out of the way. They get in a bit of a fight. She gets into a shark cage. The two of them work together. They tie the guy up by the shark cage underwater. And so the shark eats that guy up. The lead guy saves the girl, has his little device thing, hits the shark, it blows up. Not like Jaws, but like a little piece of it in the chest or whatever area blows up. And then like everything's fine, they're kissing, then it pans out of the water, and then the shark goes towards the screen. So I don't know if that means our two leads are dead, or they just did that for a cheap 3D jump scare, but doesn't pertain to the story. Not the idea of a rat's fucking ass. The few times they try to do 3D is noticeable. The characters are lame as fuck and just boring, uninteresting. You're not going to give a shit about. No nudity, not much in terms of blood, not much in terms of suspense. I don't think it does enough different to really make it worth anything. And I mean, if like I said, there's a lot of bad shark films out there. And is this the worst one? Hell no, it's not the worst one. I mean, it's, you know, those Sci-Fi Channel films and those films of sharks that, what was it, the one, like, Shark Exorcist, Sharks of the Corn. Yes, that's a real, Sharks in a Cornfield. That's a real fucking movie. Sharks of the Corn, or what the hell. There's a lot worse than this. A lot worse. But the thing is just very below mediocre that I don't really get what you get out of it. Like, what would you get out of this? If you're a diehard Joshua Leonard fan and you want to see him play a little bit of a redneck type of villain, he's sadly not even the main villain. It's too sanitized for the B-movie trashy crowd. It's too mediocre production to be on the level of Jaws, Deep Blue Sea, and again, The Shallows shows you could do it. You could do it in modern time. It's not a shark movie, but Crawl. I really like Crawl. That's a very good film. That's a film I want to rewatch again, actually. This, I like David Ellis. I miss him because I thought he did some good work. But this, I don't remember all the films he directed, but this is definitely one of his weaker films, in my opinion. I remember being slightly disappointed when I first saw it, because like, oh, it's the guy who just stays in a plane, it's going to be, you know, this fun, like, over the top. No, not really. So with that said, thanks for watching, take care. This I thought was, again, pretty lousy. That's just me. Take care, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.